Hey everybody, welcome to Final Savecast for May the 3rd, Sunday of 2015. I'm here with Joe this week.
Hello.
It's like such a nerd. He's like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
And tomorrow's May the 4th,
Yes, it
which
is. Very,
means
very
something to
important day.
some people, but eh.
hmm
Like, is
Lucky
May
Life Day,
really important? A life day.
right?
Jesus. Now you got me thinking about B. Arthur singing in a cantina.
Yeah.
Sexy.
hmm
So,
Handsome woman.
I was thinking about this today though. It seems like Star Wars now is going to be releasing on December.
Yes, it
Like
will
they've
be.
got this, it's got December this year, December next year, the two movies. So it was like May really, because it was traditionally May, wasn't it, when the movies
Yeah,
would come out?
yeah. Normally it was in May, if I remember correctly. It was definitely in
So
early summer.
yeah, I mean, it was just like it was clever marketing just to say May the 4th,
hmm
be with you or whatnot. But I seem to always remember them coming out in May for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's still May the 4th. So
hmm
I mean, they released a new trailer a couple weeks ago, kind of ahead of time. They should have like waited until this week and
Yeah,
did the
that
whole
would kind of
Star
been
Wars
better.
celebration. Yeah, but anyways,
Well,
so yeah, this week I haven't been doing a whole lot. Been playing more Grand Theft Auto. Played some Plants vs Zombies, which
yep.
I now own. Let's see. I would do anything new? No, not really.
Mm.
I would like to have more time to play more Grand Theft Auto single player.
Yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I've not gotten very far. Uh, yeah, I haven't played anything new. Have you?
Um, Nothing too much. I did finish Blood Dragon recently, and that's pretty much about it this past week. I've been really busy with the computer build, and I had a bunch of other stuff I had to take care of for other jobs or whatever. So,
Yeah, may the Derpage be with you.
hmm
Blood Dragon's fantastic, isn't
yes, it was fantastic. Yeah, I constantly was laughing my ass off
it? Yeah.
watching that or playing that, I should say.
You have a girlfriend? Oh, I have one lady in my life, Lady Liberty.
Liberty, yeah. It's just so like every line in that is just like a trope from like an '80s action movie. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty damn funny. What was it? Like the one part where you're like being tested and like the doors literally open. It's like from Mortal Kombat. It's like test your might.
Might,
It's just
yeah,
like, and it's like the portal from the movie. It's pretty
yeah,
funny.
yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The gratuitous sex scene is like way
yeah.
over the top. It just belongs in there. It's like there's this like one scene where the whole game it's like 8-bit or
Mhm.
16-bit technically, but
Yeah.
like I was just like shocked. I'm like, it's not just like a regular sex scene. Like he is hammering the fuck out of this poor girl.
Mhm. She's like, yes, yes, no, no, yes.
No, no, yes, no. And then the best part is the Karate Kid like motif where he's got
Yes,
the bandana on.
yes. He's all like,
That game's fantastic.
yes. Uh,
Yeah. Anyways, then we played some Insurgency this week. We
mhm.
got back to that,
Yep, I
and
actually modded some of that today. I haven't tested them out yet
oh no,
though.
yeah, it's pretty good little, pretty good
Like a
game
little
to mod.
community. Yeah,
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. Fortunately, you don't have to pay for anything yet.
right.
So,
Which I guess would get us into our first topic then, right?
yeah, segue.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very stealthy there.
Yes, yes.
So, let's see. Let me make sure I have all the facts up.
All right.
So the paid mods are done for right now. According to PC Gamer,
At
they're
least, yeah.
dead, but they're not really
Very
dead. Um,
now, right.
yeah. So the story goes, they tried it in, I think it was ESO first, and then they went to Skyrim.
Huh. Why did I not notice that in ESO?
Huh? Maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
Um. So the problem I heard with these, and I got it up on PC Game right now, is Skyrim. They were
Right.
trying to do paid mods there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying they didn't do it because they didn't think it out. The community wasn't ready for it, so they pulled it. And they're saying they're going to do more consideration on it or whatnot.
Right.
Uh,
Which,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh well, I mean, I'm not. you and me might be torn on this. I'm not sure how you feel, but probably because I am a developer and stuff. So seeing it from like the people who work on it, like I would kind of like to see it be able to be paid for it, but in some ways though, like it's a really slippery slope because there's a lot of real dumb shit out there, and also a lot of it's just dependent on like price control. I think because a lot of stuff they might charge way too much for what it's really worth. So I mean, I don't know what your thoughts were on it.
I agree. I'd like to see paid for some content. The problem you get with the slippery slope there is you're always assuming it's going to work,
Right.
and mods are not tested right now the way
Yeah,
it
at
is.
least not very well.
If a new version of the game goes up, it could just fairly not work, and it happens all the time to me. Insurgency with mods. For small stuff like guns, hats, whatever. I'm sorry, I can't get behind paying for that. I don't think it's worth it. Like even if the
Yeah.
person's like that's what they're doing all the time, it's really hard. Now if you like say you get this gun, this gun, this gun, make like an actual like
Pack.
DLC package, then yeah. But unless they're like doing something like completely changing the entire like landscape of the like game, like a whole new campaign or something
Right.
like that, I probably wouldn't be willing to pay very much. Maybe a couple bucks here and there, like
Right.
a buck for like a gun pack, or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Steve about the other day. I'm like, the most I could see is maybe like $10, and it would have to actually be like a huge, huge mod though, like something in the realm of like Skywind or something where it adds like a whole new campaign or something like huge. But anything other than that would say like maybe, yeah, like $2, $3, maybe five, depending on how large it is. But
Yeah, and the other thing I would like to see is them support older games.
Mm.
Like you guys will see tomorrow on Mod Monday. There's a whole like other campaign for Dark Forces 2 that you can download this entire campaign with an entirely new story and everything. It's got all new voice acting and stuff. Granted, the voice acting is not great because I think the guy that made it just did it, but and he probably did it as like a proof of concept, like it pretty much put in his resume. It's typically what these are. But at the end of the day, it's pretty awesome. It adds a complete campaign. It adds a completely new multiplayer maps and stuff like that. It overhauls that game's graphics all over the place. And from what I played so far, it's actually pretty good. I'd be willing to pay, even for like an old game like that, I'd be willing to pay like $5.
Right.
But the other problem was the split. So Valve was going to be, regardless, takes 30%.
Right.
And then they leave it up to the developer and the person with the mod to figure out what that split's going to be. Bethesda was getting to the point where they were taking 45%.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry, I didn't do the math. What was that be? What would that be? Like 25?
45, 25%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of. That was another problem I saw with it was the cut was a little bit different. Was a little bit too much. I was thinking maybe like 50% developer and then 25 to let me rephrase that. 50 to the modder, 25 to developer, and then 25 to Valve. But maybe that's me just being a little bit too nice to the modders, but I still feel like it should be roughly around there.
I don't think so because I understand people put work into the engine and stuff for the game, but people already paid for that content.
Right.
So they already got what they should have gotten. Now I'm not saying that they shouldn't get a cut out of it, but they shouldn't get the largest cut. They're not doing any work for it.
It's not them doing any of the work. But I mean, at least Valve is even doing at least a little bit of work by supporting it, and they probably have to do some coding and get the whole system set up. So in a way, there is some of Valve working, but Bethesda, I mean, they might be doing a little bit there too, but there's not. I mean, again, it's not worth the majority of it.
And then the other problem I see is, like I said, with the mods, the mod might not work later on. So what are you going to do? You're going to do a refund? So I think the best way to handle this would be, at least on that end, is if you're going to decide you're going to have a paid mod, you have to submit it. It has to go to the developer and Valve to approve it.
Right.
To see if it's good enough. Automatically, if it's just a gun or a hat or something like that, Valve should just kick it back.
Right.
And just say, no, this is not paid content worthy. If you got more content, package it up and resubmit. Then the other thing should be is if the developer deserves a larger cut, it should be their job to make sure they're keeping track of all these mods, and every time
Mhm.
they update the game, it works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely in that case, I can see a developer getting more cut if they actually have like a dedicated team going through all these mods to see whether they're worth it.
Yes. That is the only case I could actually justify it. I think the cut's still, even on top of that, is still too large for those two.
Hmm.
It's just a greedy money grab to me.
Right. Yeah, that's what it seems
Um,
like.
the other problem too, and the reason they actually took it down, they said they took it down for the fans. It's bullshit.
Hmm.
The reason they actually took it down is because of how open Steam Workshop is. You know,
Right.
you just take your mod, you just go in there. As long as you're not on a limited account, you can just submit mods and people can download them. It has to be
Yeah.
over. It has to be a certain megabyte or something like that, like within
Hmm.
a certain download rate. Um, which is another thing I'd like to see change, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Um, the problem was is people were taking mods that weren't theirs and uploading them, and then trying to
No.
monetize them.
Yeah.
And Valve didn't have any way the robot could catch that. It
Hmm.
had to be people, and it was too labor intensive. So that's pretty much the reason
Right.
why I got pulled.
Yeah, and I know how Valve is right now. They seem to. I know they want to increase their workforce, but at the same time, they're pretty still. They're still actually pretty small. I'm amazed with the staff that they have that they are able to run as much as they have got going. So
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, when you put it in an account like that, like they spun it as like we're listening to the gamers, but it wasn't that. It was that there was a big, huge problem with that, and people
mhm,
were grabbing money where they didn't deserve it.
right,
So I think there needs to be a submission system. Unfortunately, you can have your game on workshop why it's in submission. Once it hits paid, it has to get pulled down. The other thing I think that they should do is I understand the megabyte or the memory limit because it is a service they're offering for free,
right.
and you don't want to spend like gigabytes of data.
Hmm.
But for paid mods, there shouldn't be a limit.
No, there shouldn't be. Actually, I would almost say the opposite should be at least this big for it to fit in there. If you,
Yeah,
it is one of the thing, guidelines of being able to be paid. Like it needs to be so big.
yeah, because you got to figure you're giving Valve a cut, so they're getting their cut to store it.
Hmm.
Okay, regardless.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of people who are going to fit with. They're going to have smaller mods. They're going to fit
Right.
within below what the limit is already. So they're just getting free money anyways. So
Hmm.
the entire community is paying for that.
Right.
So like a texture pack, like something like that you usually can't see on Valve too often because
Right. Yeah, they get pretty big.
it's too large. If somebody's selling that for like $5-10,
Hmm.
then there shouldn't be a limit on that. That should be allowed.
Right.
But there needs to be a system in place where there's checks and balances for it, and right now there's not.
Right.
It's
Yeah, that's a pretty big problem.
yeah, I just don't understand how they completely went over their heads like that. So, anyways, yeah. Any final thoughts?
Nope, that pretty much covered everything that I could think of.
Speaking of paid mods or DLC, Batman Arkham Knight's season pass was detailed
Hmm.
today. It's gonna have, from what it sounds like, let me scroll down to make sure. There's gonna
All
be
right.
a whole another basically like sub campaign with Batgirl
Right.
in
Yeah.
a completely different location that's not in the original game.
Hmm.
There's gonna be some other weird stuff, like the typical like challenge maps, skins. There will also be, apparently, if I'm understanding this right, like a Batmobile racing mode. I don't know if it's like Batmobile Mario Kart or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's something. That's what it seemed like, at least to me.
Yeah. So, Gotham City Stories. I'm guessing that's the Batman Key Allies narrative. Okay. And yeah, so and the Batgirl DLC does sound interesting. Sounds like it's going to be a prequel
Hmm.
before Barbara got her spine injured or whatever.
Right.
So it's going to be jumping back to when she was Batgirl and to the like present right before
Hmm.
Arkham Knight. So it sounds cool, but the problem is they want for this stuff. I'm sorry, I don't think there's enough content there. They want $40
Ooh.
for a
Yeah.
season pass.
Yeah. That
Um,
does seem kind of high. Maybe 20.
20 is reasonable. I
Mhm.
even think maybe 25, 30 is because there
Yeah.
is a bit more
Yeah,
content.
there's a bit there.
They actually are putting it in
I'm
a new
stingy.
location, but 40. I mean, that's no, that's too much to ask. I don't know what's going on with developers right now and the
It's almost a full
DLC.
damn game.
Yeah, and I seriously doubt you're getting a full damn game's worth of content.
Right.
If you are, I'm surprised, but that's typically not the case.
hmm
So my thoughts on this are, I don't know what's up with developers. We saw this with Evolve, but I was a little bit more okay with it because I wasn't going to
Yeah.
get the DLC, and
Right.
it doesn't segment the game. This doesn't.
Yeah.
In fairness, this doesn't segment the game either, but I kind of want that DLC.
hmm
Maybe
Yeah. I don't know. Like, how can I put this? Basically, I think with that, yeah, it kind of is irritating because it's part of the game, but they're making it like it's really not. Like it's almost like an expansion pack type of thing. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, and it's for the season pass, so it is DLC, but it's just
Mhm.
very odd the way they're going about it. But
I mean, you did say something interesting though. Back in the days with the PC with the expansion packs,
mhm,
expansion packs could be as much as like 3/4 of the original game that you played.
right,
But a lot of times they had a lot of content.
mhm,
And lately, DLC packs now, it's usually like 2, 3 hours at the most.
right,
I remember like some expansion packs back on PC that I played would be like almost as long as the original campaign. So
Well,
I don't
also
know.
the thing, do they have a estimate on when it'll be totally out? The Batgirl thing?
Wasn't it November? Oh, the
November.
Batgirl thing?
Yeah.
I have no clue when that it's coming out.
Okay. Well, I mean, because right now I don't know the estimated time, but if it is coming out recently after the actual game comes out, I just feel kind of it's one of those things where I kind of feel cheated. Like, okay, you're apparently working on this while you're working on the actual game.
All right, this is what they say.
So,
Says uh Batman Arkham Trilogy will come to a close June 23rd. We are excited to continue telling the story and delivering more content to explore and play through. And 6 months following the game's release.
okay.
So it could
All
be anytime in 6 months.
Okay. I
Um,
don't know. I guess it's really not that bad. It's just it's only in the season pass, or can you get it later by itself? Did they specify on that, or
I think these are all separate, but if history goes to show anything, if you were to buy them separately, it'd probably be more than the $40.
fair enough? Yeah, because normally what season pass is like 3/4 of what it would be separately.
Yeah,
It
something
seems
like
on
that.
average.
Unless you're Evolved, then it comes out to the same.
Right.
I don't know why. I think like with Bioshock, it was like what, $5 cheaper to get the
Yeah,
season
something like
pass.
that. I think Titanfall was like $10 or something like that cheaper.
Yeah. So
Even though it's free now, so
yeah,
there's
it's
a lot
free.
more. It ended up being more expensive.
You guys should download it, play with us.
hmm
It's $5. I saw it on Amazon for $5.
Yeah, and it's always on sale on Origin. Like anytime they have a sale, it's always knocked down.
It's worth $5.
Yeah, it's really good.
So, anyways, I don't know. This it to me what it feels like is like they don't want to raise the game prices. They're like afraid to because of
Yeah.
like the last recession and whatnot. But
Mhm.
then they're like trying to offset this DLC to like pay for it. To me, it seems like they should just raise the damn game prices if it's that big of an
Yeah.
issue. Like, I know gamers don't want to hear that. I know what's going on the inside. You know what's going on the inside. This shit costs a lot of money
It does. It's a shit ton of money. I mean, when we have games like GTA, how much did that get up to? $300 million to make that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's basically the budget of The Hobbit.
Yeah, 300 million, and it was 200 million for the Avengers movie. It just came out,
Yeah,
so it's an extra $100 million.
yeah. Just to give you an idea.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's just to the point where I'm like, DLC should always there should always be like a limit to it.
Mhm.
It should just be an add-on. It shouldn't be like I like the way I see it is like I'm getting a full game. Let's say this is the full game. I'm paying for it. Okay,
Mhm.
when I get the DLC, it's only gonna go up to about here, but it's gonna cost this much.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
bullshit.
that's kind of the. It is about the weird pricing offset that between a full game and a DLC. It always seems that way to me too. Like I really just very rarely do I ever feel like wow, like if I paid full price, not like on a Steam sale, but if I paid full price for a DLC, very rarely am I ever like that DLC was definitely worth all the money. Like I
Yeah.
paid for like BioWare's been pretty good about it with a lot of theirs because they make their DLCs like they're normally like $8-10 or something like that, but they add like 4 to 8 hours depending on the campaign, whichever one. So
Yeah.
they're normally good, but like
And
some
then
of them
there's a
it's like
party at the end, and everybody's invited.
yes,
Sorry.
yeah, Citadel. Uh, but yeah, some of them it's like that was like 30 minutes, and I spent you know 1/8 or 1/10 or even a quarter sometimes of what the game actually costs. So I'm like, God damn it, that really wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I know you're gonna hate hearing this, but I think the last DLC I actually paid for, and granted, I got it on sale because I waited until I don't know. I think it was a winter sale.
Mhm.
I still paid $20 for the Bioshock DLC. I think it was
Right.
20 or 50.
Well, honestly,
That felt like that was worth it because I'm
right,
really into that. But other than that, I have to agree. I don't really feel like there's a lot that's worth it.
right. Which how much were the Bioshock DLCs altogether?
I want to say $15 for both episodes, and then it was like 5 for the weird combat arena thing.
Okay, so like $20. Yeah, shit. I was gonna say because that would be a similar thing to what they're. It sounds like what they're doing with Arkham Knight in a way, where it's a good continuation of like the story type of thing. But yeah, that might. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. It's like let's say you raise the price an extra $10 to $70 now for
Mhm.
the game. I would
Right.
still only like it just is something in my head. Like right now, it's the $60 price. I'm comfortable with like a $20
Right.
DLC. Uh, if you raise an extra 10, then I'd be a little bit more comfortable with a 30. There's no fucking way in hell anytime soon I'm gonna be comfortable with $40 or $45.
Right.
Sorry. It's like I'm not made out of money.
Mhm.
There's a point where you're just basically cutting off sales.
Right. And
It's
the thing is too, I feel like for the larger developers too, like that shouldn't. I know they're paying. They spend a lot more money, but I feel like their returns because they have so many people buying these games that they end up getting a lot of money back on them too. So it's not like if it was a small developer and they made like some kind of niche game or whatever, but it was really cool and they put a lot of time into it and they asked for a bit of money. Like I almost be more willing, I think, because they need the money more. Where WB Games not saying that they don't need the money, and I mean, I'm sure it's well deserved in a lot of cases, but sometimes it's like, okay, you are really just price gouging me now. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's pretty much what it feels like.
I mean,
Um,
out of I'm sure how many people normally you'd say probably buy the Batman games? They got to be at least like quite a few million.
yeah, they gotta be
So,
selling at least a couple million.
so I mean, say
But see, then the problem is it's $40. So all that DLC, you're probably entering into a point where you're going to sell less DLC for the higher price than if you would have lowered it to 20, where it
right.
should be for the season pass. You would have sold a lot more at the lesser price and made more profit that way.
Economics, people.
Yeah,
Right.
which I don't think they understand. They're just doing a money grab.
Mhm.
And this has always been my problem with Call of Duty, like a map pack for 3
Right.
maps, like
Yeah.
really $15. I'm barely
Also,
comfortable with it at 10 on
okay,
Titanfall.
so and this is almost kind of a problem with the gaming culture right now, though, too. Is there are those people out there, and there is a lot of them. I'm sure you know a bunch, or whoever. It doesn't matter how much the price is; they are gonna buy it right when it comes out because they just have like a. And sadly, I hate to use this term, but it's almost like a weird addiction where they love the game or whatever. They just have to get it right away, and I think that's what they're trying to cash on. And maybe down the line they'll drop it to a more reasonable price. But like once they always try to get those initial people who will just spend as much money on it and they don't care, and then they'll eventually drop it for more reasonable price to people who are actually kind of sane. So
Yeah. So I mean, I said this before with the pinball arcade stuff, where they kept on doing the DirectX thing over and over and then delaying it, basically lying through their teeth.
Yeah.
If you don't
it's in
like
my
it,
face.
like okay, any blog post you make, any negative comment, it goes into a bucket, but it's a very, very small drop in the bucket. The biggest drop in the bucket you can make to a developer is when it comes out, vote with your wallet. Don't get it. They'll lower the price real fast.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Same thing with
yeah.
Same thing with Pinball Arcade. I started making that argument on there a while ago, and I said, vote with your wallet. Don't buy any more fucking tables. Even though it's a good game, don't buy any more tables if it's really bothering you that much. And they'll do something about it. They'll do something about it fast.
I'd say a very good example of this working was the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
Because it was ridiculously high priced at the time when it first came out, and like they were making a huge profit off of it, like for each one. And then they dropped it like by half within like a few months of it.
Was it 250?
I think it was 250 before, or 300 maybe.
300. I got it at 250. I remember. And then I regretted that because I just the 3DS is fine for the most part. It's just.
Yeah, it was 250 when it first came out, and they slashed it to almost $100, $169.99.
Yeah.
Like really quick. It was like what within it was like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Like that. Well, I've never seen a price cut that fast, but because they weren't buying as much as they thought they'd be.
And they got me, and I'll tell you why. I'm such a freaking Nintendo fanboy. Always have been, and I just wanted to play. Ocarina of Time on there with the new graphics. I knew, like, 3 Land was coming. I was stupid excited for that. And not that I didn't like. In a weird way, I kind of feel like I got my money's worth because I did play the games I wanted to on that, and then it kind of like, for me, like certain stuff I don't care about Smash Brothers. So, to me, the library kind of started dipping down, and then the system broke on me twice. I paid $250 fucking for this thing, and I had to send it to him twice, like within like a couple weeks. It's like all of a sudden, like it's like an Xbox 360 starts red ringing and shit,
Right.
And I got fed up. I literally got to the point where I took it to the GameStop, and then the other problem was games I buy on the Wii, like Virtual Console or whatever, don't work on the damn 3DS, even though they're out on both platforms. They can't. The only time that those systems, like the DS and the Wii, have ever talked to each other have been like to download demos to it.
Right.
So it got to the point where I love Nintendo games. I love the people that work on them. But the corporate side of Nintendo, I really, really hate. And so I was like, okay, vote with the wallet. I'm gonna go get rid of the thing at GameStop. Go get a Vita, which that turned out didn't like that either.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, I did like it. Just the game's dried up.
Right. Poor thing.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Oh. So
well, processor was more important.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, I ended up getting out of that cycle with the Wii and the DS and all that, and I refused to return, even though like there's a lot of stuff I really want to play on Wii U, but I just don't like their ecosystem, and I can't get on board with it. It's just a nickel and dime factory. It's like I know if I get back into it, I'm going to get another portable, I'm going to get another home console. There's going to be games I want to play. It's like they don't talk to each other. They don't share save files. They need to get on board with that. Yeah. And until they do, I'm done. There's other stuff I can play. So yeah. Anyways, and it's a childhood thing, really.
Nostalgia is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking last night about how much I love the Game Boy. So
never had any interest in the Game Boy.
Let's get some good games. And it doesn't sound crazy like Game Gear.
Whatever, I liked my Game Gear. Shush.
That thing's got the loudest tones ever, like a dog. It sounds like a dog whistle. It's terrible. So is the Neo Geo Pocket, so sounds the same. So speaking of things from my childhood, well, this isn't really from my childhood, but it's kind of like it. Mighty Number 9.
Right.
Comes out in North America on September 15th. I'm kind of surprised. It's PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, which I didn't know about.
Really? They said that like really early. That would be Wii U.
Really? PS3, Xbox 360. This is now only digital versions. I don't know. The game will be both available physical copy and digital copy. So it's PS4, Xbox One, Wii U on physical,
Huh.
which is weird.
Yeah.
For digital, PS3, Xbox 360, PC, Mac, and surprisingly enough, Linux.
Next. Yeah.
I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
PS Vita and 3DS editions available later date because
Mhm.
nobody cares about
Right.
Vita.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised how wide range. Maybe just because they're trying to make as much money off of it as they can, since they are now an indie developer. But
Yeah.
for a Japanese company, like especially someone, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Main guy.
Inafune?
Yeah, Inafune. Being so into just trying to get out on everything. Normally, they kind of more focus on a system first. And
Well, to be fair, Capcom has. Kenji Inafune has been the guy at Capcom for years, has been screaming to the top of his lungs that the Japanese corporate side of video games over there needs to change.
true, that's very true.
He's been screaming that they need to get everything out on every system for the longest time. They need to do more smaller stuff that's cheaper instead of like larger like Street Fighter games and all that. And for the most part, he got so fed up he just left Capcom, if you remember.
Right.
Like he actually wasn't fired. He left.
Yeah, you left. Yeah.
He was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gone." And then like Capcom, of course, they pulled all the Mega Man projects that were going on because they were just spiteful and pissed. Because that's how Japanese roll, I guess, with that.
That honor system, man.
Yeah, real honorable. So, yeah, and the only thing he ended up doing is punishing the fans, not the guy. He's going to go off and make Mighty Number 9. Yeah, and now you don't have anything out to compete with it. So guess what? He's going to take all your profits, dumbass.
Right. I will say the game does look pretty.
It looks nice, and I'm going to buy and play the shit out of it because I love Mega Man.
Yeah. I mean, I have a weird relationship with Mega Man. I appreciate it, and there is a part of me that loves it, but there's also the other part of me that just wants to scream at my fucking top of my lungs because it pisses me off so much.
Makes it a good game this stream.
Yeah. Oh, motherfucker.
Sound like the guy, was it Mikey in Insurgency when he's all stressed out? Fuck. So, anyways, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be good. And I absolutely, as a Japanese developer, I love Inafune because he's such a different mindset from anybody else.
Agreed.
He thinks out of the box a little bit more. Granted, he's basically making Mega Man again, but from what I've seen, there's some pretty good differences in there. So, and I think the character looks way better in Mega Man.
Yeah, actually. I agree. It looks really cool. Which I think, well, I guess the Japanese developer thing brings us into our next topic.
Yeah.
With
let's see,
be Konami and Kojima and all that hubbub that went down.
Yeah, so me and Janet talked about it last week.
Right.
And what had happened is we got up to the point where we talked about him leaving. She's pissed because, of course, Metal Gear.
Right.
I'm excited because he can go do other things now.
Yeah. Like, as much as I love the Metal Gear series and everything, and I was so wanting him to go off and do other things because I wanted to see him bring his weird, quirky cinematic style, because I love cinematic video games. This is actually like my love is interactive storytelling that only video games can really bring. So I thought he was, one of those guys that could do it, and I would love to see him do something else, since he is like one of our big director names, instead of just sticking to one franchise. Even though he went to other ones, and I appreciate those, but I like to see him kind of step out of the box and let him do what he wants to do off the top of his head.
Yeah. And we don't know what the involvement really was with some of those. Like, he was involved with Lords of Shadow, but we don't know if it was just like, make the cutscene longer, and it just left. We have no clue.
From what I heard,
he's like, he probably came in the door and like went, more Zobek.
Yeah, from what I heard, he wrote a lot of the story. But anything else than that, I'm not totally 100% sure on. Like, the ending and everything of Lords of Shadow, it seemed very Kojima for sure. So
yeah.
The rest of it, I'm not 100% sure what else. But I know he definitely has a writing credit for that game. So
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it was a good game, and then two sucked.
yeah.
Even
Well,
the
I don't
side
think he was
scroller
actually
one was good.
involved with that one, was he?
Apparently not.
Yeah. So
Kind of surprised Patrick Stewart was still involved.
yeah.
It's like Patrick Stewart was reading those lines and going,
Right. But I mean, of course, that leads us to though, like all the aftermath of what has actually gone down. So like Silent Hill's gone, done.
"Yep, yep."
Uh,
Unfortunately, that's done. Even though it scared the shit out of Janet, PT did.
right.
There's already PS4s, I guess, on eBay going for like $1,000 that have PT loaded on them.
Oh, did they actually take it off the
Oh
market?
yeah, it's off the PlayStation Store.
I thought I heard that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
They might have changed it. I heard something, but I didn't check into it that maybe they might be doing a paid thing for it now.
Right.
But that's just like that seems kind of terrible. It was
Yeah.
basically a demo.
Mhm.
Of course, then again, it was what was it? The Metal Gear Ground Zeroes.
Oh yeah, it's basically just a
It's
glorified
basically
demo.
people. You didn't pay for it. What do you care?
True. Thank you.
So I'm just like, look at it. It's pretty, damn it.
It is pretty, damn it.
So, anyways, yeah, he's gone, and now a lot of other things are happening. So I think it was this Tuesday or Wednesday,
Yeah, it's
sometime
definitely
earlier.
the middle-ish of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Konami delisted themselves from the stock exchange,
Mm-hmm.
and now there's a lot of rumors. So a lot of people don't know Konami actually is a larger company. They own hotels. They have a lot of like slot machines. They actually have like slot machines that have like Castlevania characters and stuff in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of money on the slot machine division, and they have a large mobile division that works on mobile games. They've been making more money with that because they've been closing down every larger AAA studio.
Mm-hmm.
Now the corporate idiots are just saying, "Well, you're making more money on this than you are on the AAA games," bypassing the fact that, hey, you closed studios, so yeah, there's not going to be incoming coming in there.
Right.
It's like if Sony went and closed down like a large part of like the PlayStation like division, and then all of a sudden the corporates getting mad because there's no money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's just what I'm hearsay. But what seems to be happening is they're pulling out of AAA games altogether.
Right.
Which is really, really sad in a way.
It is.
And there's even some rumors saying that they're completely out. Like no more games. So
yeah, which I really hope is true. I mean, they did say they are finishing up Metal Gear Solid 5, but
yeah.
I don't know whether that rumor means like pretty much after that they're done, or whether they're gonna probably decide to cut it. I hope not, but I don't know. They're definitely in a weird transitional period right now that we just.
Well, originally they were saying, basically like, oh, Kojima-san is excited to bring you Metal Gear Solid 5, coming up soon, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're hiring a new team to make the next Metal Gear games.
Right.
And it's like, and then now we're starting to hear rumors like they're giving up, they're done.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really hard to tell. There's going to be interesting stories going to come out as like 5-10 years down the road. Like Kojima's probably going to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a mess. It was really a mess. It's really depressing. I think if anything, what they should do is maybe start focusing on smaller stuff.
Right.
I'm not talking about mobile stuff. I'm just talking about like more indie style games.
Right. Yeah, I could see like, just like the lower, more like old school style Castlevania or Contra or Frogger, and like kind of do a lot of that like classic stuff. Like just bring it to more modern a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even hell, you could even make like a. You know, what'd be really awesome is like if they made like an old school Metal Gear game, like on the NES, like remade it, or you could even get creative. Like imagine like Metal Gear, but like sort of like side scrolling, like Mark of the Ninja.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ideas there.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could get creative and do some good stuff without spending a shit ton of money. But
Yeah, I mean, as far as Metal Gear as a series, I mean, I'm sure we'll probably see like remake for one or something like that.
right,
Um, as far as I'm being done, I don't know if I necessarily buy it yet,
hmm
but if they go pretty much completely mobile, to me, they're effectively done because
right,
I don't play on mobile.
yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry,
kind of
I've
how
said
I
it.
felt about what was it? What was the name of that company? Majesco
Yeah,
back in the day because they were coming out with like what was it, Blood Rain. They had Advent Rising, and they had actually they published Psychonauts as well.
yeah,
And like just one day they were just like, screw it, we're just going mobile, and like pretty much I was like, well, they're dead to me.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they make more money that way,
They might,
probably.
yeah.
But to me, you're dead if you're on
hmm
mobile. I
Right.
It's not. I hate saying this. It's not my game system.
hmm I
So
feel like it's, and I'm probably gonna like insult some people who do work on mobile, and I know there's some creativity there, but I feel like it's just kind of a cop out for budget reasons, though. That's really what it is. You're not making the huge visions anymore. You are just going for the money now and just making smaller things. So I mean,
well,
from a
I,
corporate
I
standpoint, it makes a lot more sense in some
I
ways.
don't feel like you always need to make the big, huge vision.
Right.
Uh, you can make a budget one. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's the Swiss Army of devices. It does everything, but it doesn't
Just
do anything well.
right. It doesn't do anything as good as it could be.
So I'm just like, I don't want to play on that. I'm sorry. I want to get
mhm.
Twitter on this and like phone calls.
Yeah. I don't even want phone calls.
And people play stuff on here. Like, what do they play? They play Flappy Bird because like it's a
Right.
touch screen. You go,
Right.
you touch it. You
I mean,
can't
there are
really.
some good games that work on here, such as like Bejeweled. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah, but I mean, like anything that I'd want to play, it's not on this.
Mm,
I do want a deeper game. It doesn't necessarily
right.
have to be a big budget game.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, I should rephrase that. More of a deeper, but just more artistic in a way. Like I like it's hard to explain because it just feels like you have to cut down the gameplay so much to make it work on a mobile compared to what you can get away with on an actual gaming system of some sort because of the limitations.
like,
So
there are games on this I think would work perfectly that I don't ever see anybody do. Like basically Telltale, or that's it. Like
actually,
adventure.
Telltale does have their games on mobile. No,
Yeah, yeah. It's like adventure games, perfect. Like
perfect. Yeah.
Monkey Island on this would be
Mhm.
perfect. You'll never see it.
Yeah,
That would be an
because it's just
experience
point and
I would
click,
have.
which you actually just
Yeah.
point and click.
Imagine Tex Murphy on this thing.
Right.
Like FMV, like old FMV games would work perfectly on this.
Mhm.
Try playing Sonic the Hedgehog, not so much.
No, it's not very good. I've tried
No.
it so many times. And I'm the type of guy who can buzz through pretty much any old school Sonic game in under an hour, and it irritates the hell out of me on that thing. It slows me down so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anytime you're dealing with something that's more like a point and click or one, it needs precise. It was built for a controller.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, the stuff I like to play, I need a controller, I need a mouse and keyboard.
hmm
That's just the way it is. You're never gonna have that on a touch screen.
Right.
Anyways, speaking of the giving people negative feedback, so developers can now ask Valve to ban disruptive players. So before they had the VAX solution, but now pretty much if you are being a problem in game, a nuisance, whatever, if you actually even just disagree with them on the forums, they can
right.
ban you now.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I'm not really 100% sure how I feel about this. Definitely for like cheating and stuff, which is what VAC's for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get banned, but being mouthy and whatnot is one of those things where it's really up to interpretation on whether it's bad or not.
This is my problem with it. If you're a developer
Mhm.
and you have a website and you have forums, and somebody, first of all, I think you should be big enough if somebody disagrees with you. Um, you should just like listen to it, just go out, whatever. As long as they're not being belligerent or whatever, just let them do their thing.
Mhm.
and go about your day. A lot of times I see, like forums get locked or whatnot, but if you ban them there, that's on you because it is
Right.
your forums.
Hmm.
Okay. The problem I have with this is Valve is treating their own forums like for each sub game as like the developer's own.
Company.
It's not. It's Valve's. They have a space on Valve's forums. Valve hosts it. It's their forums.
Hmm.
I think if they allow them to start banning people for just like stuff that they say on there that they don't agree with, then how can you have like an honest review, like the review system on there? You can't.
Right.
It's effectively turning into like what Apple does. You disagree with them, they put you on a blacklist. Then you're gonna have nothing but
Excuse me.
good reviews because nobody wants to disagree with you because you're
Hmm.
Apple and need to have big devices. The only people that can compete are people like Linus that can like actually afford to buy every single device on their own pocket and review it honestly.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean I completely disagree with this. And then like Valve's argument for this was, well, everybody will kind of self moderate. If it gets out of control, then everybody will call it out. But by you putting that in there,
You already
you're not
anticipate it.
you're not you're not going to do anything about it. You're giving them a free pass.
Hmm.
Okay, and it's the thing I've been wanting Valve to understand for a long time. They are posting on your forums to talk to your users. It's not their users.
Hmm.
Okay, Valve is your service. You need to protect it like such. If a developer steps out of line, you need to ban them. Okay, that's
Right.
pretty much the way it is. They need to. They don't need to be moderating on your forums just because they have a game on there. You need to have moderators in place, and that needs to be their fucking job.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's getting to the point where I don't know if it's because Gabe's going insane slowly,
Maybe.
but Valve is slowly creeping up on evil.
They've been up to a lot of weird stuff lately, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's just them wanting to experiment with things or what, but
Is it creativity or is it because they didn't have the user base that they do now, and they feel like they're at the point now where they can start exploiting it without like much pushback?
maybe.
I mean, this is what's been going on with the consoles for a while. You remember when consoles are small? I mean, I can remember back to Nintendo when the NES was small. It was all about the consumer, what the consumer wants. Treat the consumer nice.
Hmm.
Then that system got built up, and we go into Super Nintendo era, and oh fuck the consumer, we're gonna do our own thing.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of concerned if they're taking that for granted. Or the other thing I'm also concerned about, maybe Gabe is not really being consulted on this anymore. Like,
Possibly not, right?
what's his involvement in the company anymore?
Right. Yeah, I mean, this might be from other people who are in charge of running just Steam or something, and they're just making these decisions because it is very loose there
Yeah,
on like ideas and everything. I mean, so you can just throw stuff out there and give it a shot a lot of times. So it might just come down to that.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely keeping an eye on Steam, and on Valve now. The events in the past couple of weeks, I'm starting to lose a lot of trust in them.
Mhm.
And for me personally, I'm like tinfoil hat. It doesn't take a whole lot. Um, but it is getting to the point now where if the price of like a game is on, say, like another service like Good Old Games or Humble Bundle, and it's like DRM free, or I can get through Origin or something like that, I might actually consider going to another service to
Right.
get my games.
And as of, actually, we were talking about this the other day, how recently it seems like Origin hasn't been bugging us at all. Like,
Yeah,
been
no,
pretty good about things, and I haven't really had much of a problem. I don't think it's as good as Steam, of course, but I think what they've been doing or whatever, it's been a solid client, and I haven't really had any weird problems or anything.
yeah. So let's see here. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. This
What?
isn't an error occurred.
Oh, no.
No, we're still alive. We're fine.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. We got anybody in chat? I don't see
I
anybody.
don't see anyone.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thing is be mindful of Valve. Not that EA's not capable of evil, obviously.
They definitely are, but
Look at their CEO. I mean,
Right.
he's evil. Um, yeah, I don't know what to do about it, but there are DRM free options out there, so that's
Yes.
probably what I'm going to be looking at.
Hmm.
Anyways, we're going to finish it up here, but before we do that, Joe, you built a computer this week.
Yes. I did build a computer this week, and I think it turned out really, really nice. Hopefully everyone else will too. I will have the video out on Tuesday after we do all our May the 4th be with you stuff, and
Mhm.
it's pretty far along with it now. So
Cool.
Mhm.
Any issues with it or any problems?
Not well, a few, but nothing that wasn't easily fixed, and nothing with the case or anything like that. It was just weird mini SATA
Yeah.
apparently exists, and I had to find an adapter for that. That was the biggest problem. Other than that, I really went pretty smoothly.
Have you ever accidentally put a beer inside the case?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Because every time I look at it, I think mini fridge. But
It does look like a mini fridge, doesn't it?
yeah.
I kind of wanted to put like a big speaker in it and just have it like woof and everything. It's coming through
Yeah,
that like screen on the top.
big huge magnet in there.
Mhm.
Just a good idea. Yeah. No, I mean it's a cool little case. The picture he sent me was pretty gnarly.
Mhm.
Shoot, I wish I had that. I could have put it on the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's color wise it looks nice. You
Mhm.
know, the black and blue. The only thing that kind of throws it off is maybe the white in there, but I think it works all right.
Yeah. It's not that
Um,
big of a deal.
yeah, and I mean for what it is, it's a
Mhm.
pretty damn good system.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
It's mostly going to be used by an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Hence why the $30 mouse and keyboard.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like you spill your juice on this. Well, I guess I gotta go
Oh
spend
well.
another
Yeah.
$30. Yeah. So, anyways, I mean that'll be cool. I can't wait to see the video.
Mhm.
See what you shot. See what you thought of the case.
Mhm.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
So, anyways, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Cell Processing. You can follow Joe at what is it, Lemon Merchant?
At merchant_lemon.
Okay, so it's backwards.
Mhm.
Like he said, he's got his video coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime around there.
Yes.
Tonight I have to get to work though because I have video problems. But
Right. Yeah. My little video problems. One reason to wait until Tuesday is because I have to go and re-record all my voice because I realized that the speaker on I should say the receiver on my phone actually sounds better than it does on here, and I blame Windows for that. So
yeah. You know, actually, I'm getting to the point where I'm about ready to get VMware and put Linux like on a VM just for like
Mhm.
video stuff.
Right.
Because like Linux audio recording and all that's like way better than Windows.
So
Yeah. So, anyways, tonight I have to rush out and do a Mod Monday, which is gonna suck because like
Yeah.
all my video had to get thrown out because like my voice is off sync with the audio.
Yeah, I had that happen actually with the last video that I did, actually the ramp video, and I like busted my ass just trying to get the sync up as best as I could, like moving the audio and trying to get right. And I actually put it in the cuts where it wasn't lip syncing with me anymore, but luckily I had like a picture or something up so that I could fix it and then cover it back up. So
Nice.
Mhm.
But yeah. So I'll do that tonight. I'm gonna be modding Dark Forces, the original Dark Forces, the one that looks like pixels.
Mhm.
Dark Forces 2, which came out in '97, which I'm
Yes.
surprised it's that old.
Yeah.
The mods look really good, and then there'll be a
Looking
little
forward to seeing
extra. Yeah, there's going to be a campaign, like a completely whole new story that's going to add on in there. So that'll be pretty cool.
Out of curiosity, did you find that second campaign for Republic Commando?
No.
Oh.
That will actually be. So we're doing Star Wars 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this week we're going to do Dark Forces 2.
Mm.
Next week it's going to be Republic Commando, and probably Outlast.
I'll see if I can find that
Outcast.
mod for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I've come across it a few times. So
Yeah. We're gonna show off a couple other things. We'll show the other the remake of Dark Forces that never got finished. A couple other things with the Jedi games, the later Jedi games. and
Mhm.
also like how to set up on a modern system, like all those, because there's some derpiness to it to get it running like actual 1080p, right FOV, get the display up and running the way you want it to, and all that. So
Okay. So just to clarify, I just found it. Apparently, it is not done yet, but they are working on it, and they said it will be done Q3 of this year.
okay, and there's actually a completely new remake of Jedi Outcast in the works that I learned
Ooh.
today. It's all got a bunch of textures and stuff done to it.
Nice. So same engine.
Yeah, same engine,
Okay.
but the textures are like really super high res. It's all
Nice.
sharp and everything.
Woo!
Let's see here. Can I actually show this?
Maybe, I don't know.
Let's see here. How is my skill?
I
Gonna fart. Oops, that's shit.
don't
Yeah.
know.
There we go. All right, so let's take a
Oh,
look
okay.
at this. So this is based off the book.
I believe so. Yes.
All right. So graphically, it doesn't change anything. It's just like a new campaign.
Yep.
Basically.
I mean,
All
they
right.
might be some new. I'm sure they put some new graphics in it and everything, but I don't know how improved. It will add new HD textures. Okay. So yes.
Okay. So we'll add textures to the original campaign too, or?
Good question. I don't know on that one.
That's pretty cool. I'll
Mhm.
definitely play it. It's like PC Master Race.
Yep.
Wonder how much they're gonna charge for it. Yeah, no idea. Anyways, where's my button?
I don't know.
Shut this off. There we go.
Yeah, I see you. Lovely
Yeah.
face of yours.
All right, guys. So, like I said, that's coming up this Mod Monday, and next Mod Monday, do May the 4th special. Also, tomorrow's hopefully starting at noon. There's going to be a stream hopefully until midnight. So noon to midnight on Monday, as long as my ass doesn't fall asleep.
Right.
Star Wars games. We're starting off with Super Star Wars,
Mhm.
and then we're just going to work our way up. There's definitely going to be some Republic Commando in there.
Awesome.
So if you want to see when those individual games are going live, follow me on Twitter, and every time I start a new game, I'll tweet it out. So,
Mhm.
all right, Joe, thanks for joining me this week.
Of course, no problem.
All right, see you guys later.
Later, everyone.